In the beginning, there was a young boy whose name was Rohan. He lived in a remote community that was surrounded by undulating hills and verdant vegetation. Even though he was surrounded by such beautiful scenery, Rohan had a reputation for being lazy and lacking ambition. He had an odd pattern of squandering time, putting off important tasks, and appearing to be oblivious to the sound advice offered by his family and friends, who consistently emphasized the value of time. He had a peculiar habit of procrastinating on important tasks. On a particularly bright day, word began to circulate throughout the community that a sage and experienced individual by the name of Mr. Gupta was on his way there. He was well known for his wisdom and his ability to help those looking for direction to make sense of the complexities of everyday life. When Rohan heard the news, it piqued his interest and he began to wonder about it. In spite of the fact that he was typically uninterested in anything, he made the decision to seek the advice of this elderly man. Rohan went up to Mr. Gupta, who was lounging in the extensive shade cast by an ancient banyan tree, and asked him a question. After lowering his head in deference, Rohan addressed the older man, saying, "Sir, I've heard that you possess a great deal of wisdom. Could you please point me in the right direction so that I can make the most of my life?" Mr. Gupta gave Rohan a friendly smile and nod in acknowledgement of the sincerity that could be seen in his eyes. He reached into his bag and pulled out an hourglass, which he then handed to Rohan. He went on to explain that the hourglass represented the passage of time. Every single grain of sand contained within symbolizes a priceless moment in your life. While Rohan was contemplating the significance of the hourglass he was holding in his hands, Mr. Gupta continued to impart his life-changing knowledge. "Imagine," he said, "that every grain of sand falling through this hourglass is an opportunity that was lost. Every time you put things off or waste time, you lose a grain of time that you can never get back." Rohan became gradually aware of the seriousness of his actions over time. As Mr. Gupta elaborated on the value of time, he listened to every word with rapt attention. "Time is the most valuable gift of all, my son. Nobody can stop it from happening. Every tick of the clock represents a second that you will never get back. If you continue to fritter it away, you will one day wake up filled with regret and a sense of the need to act quickly." In an effort to change his behavior, Rohan questioned, "But how can I change? How can I make the most of the time that I have and value it?" While sharing his ageless insight, Mr. Gupta maintained his friendly smile the entire time. "It begins with small steps," he explained. "To begin, you should establish your goals and prioritize your to-do list. Convert them into manageable chunks, and then concentrate on finishing each individual task in order. Acquire the skill of time management and use it to your advantage. Always keep in mind that those who can appreciate the value of their time will find the most success." As a result of the words spoken by Mr. Gupta, Rohan made the decision to embark on a journey of self-improvement. He started by meticulously organizing his daily routine and allocating specific amounts of time to a variety of different activities. As he concentrated intently on the task at hand, he put all other concerns out of his mind. Rohan began to see positive changes taking place in his life over time. The days eventually turned into weeks, and the weeks eventually became months. The newfound commitment and self-control that Rohan exhibited ultimately led to concrete outcomes. While pursuing the things he was most passionate about, he was able to finish projects that had been lingering for years and discover hidden talents in himself. The villagers couldn't believe their eyes as they watched the incredible change that was taking place in Rohan's life. Over the course of his life, Rohan realized that the true power of time lay not in merely completing responsibilities, but in cultivating relationships with other people. He made sure to spend quality time with his loved ones and friends, savoring the precious moments they had together. He came to the conclusion that time was a finite resource, and that any moment spent in the company of those he cared about was a precious commodity. As the years passed, Rohan, who had previously been a young boy known for his slothfulness, matured into an adult. The people of the village honored him for the remarkable things he had accomplished and the astute way he had spent his time. The older generation listened as Rohan recounted his travels to the younger people, exhorting them to savor every ephemeral moment and make the most of their lives. The tale of Rohan's metamorphosis was told far and wide, motivating a great number of people to reconsider their perspective on how they relate to the passage of time. People gradually came to realize that time was not merely a commodity, but rather a priceless gift that should be treasured and treated as such. The village flourished thanks to Mr. Gupta's guidance and Rohan's commitment to making positive changes in his life. The story served as a timeless reminder to everyone about the significance of time and the profound power it held to shape destinies. It was a powerful tale. As the people of the village came to terms with their newfound knowledge, they collectively set out on a mission to learn how to appreciate and respect the passing seconds, which, once lost, could never be won back.